got to do my paperwork so I can make my big announcement. I can't make my big announcement until I do my paperwork. Yay! I gotta do some paperwork. Just not right now. I wanted to talk to y'all about me being a Hebrew Israelite. A lot of people don't know what a Hebrew Israelite is. Hebrew Israelite is the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you don't read the Bible, you may not, and I'm speaking specifically the Old Testament where they are highly mentioned. They're mentioned in the New Testament as well, but Hebrew Israelites are highly mentioned in the Old Testament of the Bible. Excuse me. So that way you'll know what it means when you come across a Hebrew Israelite. First of all, Hebrew Israelite are the holiest people on earth. Holy meaning good. They're the good people on earth. Not meaning that there aren't other good people on earth, but if you're looking for people who are good, it's a Hebrew Israelite. And everything that I say, this is my disclaimer. This is my my disclaimer. Everything that I'm saying, I want to clarify. I'm not being racist. I am not being sexist. I am not spreading hate. I am not trying to make anyone convert their life over to become anything like me. I'm just sharing some good and truthful facts that may be beneficial for you if you ever meet a Hebrew Israelite. I am a Hebrew Israelite. A Hebrew Israelite is not a religion, so don't let people tell you, oh, you became a Hebrew Israelite. No. Some people just don't know they are Hebrew Israelites because they were raised under religion. They were raised being taught some of the fictitious things that are out there in the world, so they don't know who they are. At one point in time, I did not know who I was, but I grew up learning about God at a young age, and I always heard about Hebrew Israelites, and I always noticed that God had, you know, kept saying they were his children, and I kept saying, I wish I was God's child. And growing up, I learned that I actually am one of God's children. And that makes me glad to know that. There are rules of life that Hebrew Israelites have to live by. It is not religious. We're not religious people. We're not living off of religio. We are living off of laws, statutes, and commandments that were literally ordained by the Most High God. Now, when I say the Most High God, is because I want to clarify that the God that Hebrew Israelite serves is not just any old God, but the mightiest God of all gods. There are other gods on earth, and there are other gods that are worshipped, but the Most High God is the highest God. It's the God that these other gods have to even ask permission to do things to be able to execute in life. It's that deep. So I always like to tell people that Hebrew Israelites are good people, and I don't like for people to say things like, no one's better than the other. You know, I've I'm a friend who is a Muslim, and when we were having conversation one day, you know, she told me that she was Muslim, and I told her that I'm Hebrew Israelite, and her first response was, "Well, no one's better than the other," you know. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I guess that is the perspective that is being taught to her, or that is her perspective. Maybe she has run into some fake Hebrew Israelites, because there's a lot of people out there who claim that they're Hebrew Israelites, but really they just want to be included as God's children. And so they dress up in clothing that mimic what original Hebrew Israelites dressed like long ago. Some of them you may see them in encampments. Some of them encampments are not valid. A lot of those encampments they embody major criminals. A lot of those encampments they teach people hatred. They teach people superiority, supremacy, things like that. And Hebrew Israelites, that's not how we move. We are humble people. We are meek. We are mild. We are humble, and we don't joke around. We may come across as funny. We may do things that are peculiar. We may do things that you might think is a joke, but we do not jest. Jesting is a biblical term for joking around. We don't joke around at all. So we might say things and it might make you laugh, but that doesn't mean that we're joking. It just means that you found humor in what was said. Hebrew Israelites don't date. We don't date. It is not common for a Hebrew Israelite to go around and spend months and months, years and years with a person and then having intimate relations and never really getting anywhere. With the Hebrew Israelite, intimacy is marriage. But because we do live in this world and we're not of this world, we do still have to follow many of the laws that are on this earth as well, because it's what God requires of us. We're covered by the Messiah's sacrificial presence when the Messiah came on earth, seeing that the others who had stolen the scrolls, when they stole the scrolls that were given to Moses and all of the other prophets that came after Moses, they took the scrolls and they came to find out that we had laws and rules and statutes that we had to live by in order for us to serve our God, the Most High God, whose name we are not allowed to say. Highlight that. So a lot of these religions, they keep telling you this name, that name, this name, that name. They can't be true followers of the Most High God because God forbids us to say the true name of the Most High God. You're not supposed to say the Most High God's name. So if you are of any way of life and you know the Most High God's name and you're saying it, you know. So when the scrolls were stolen, they were stolen and they were observed by others that did not follow the ways of the Most High. And so what they did was conspire to find ways to keep us from not following the ways of the Most High God. So that way we would be seen as disobedient. And then we got to admit, there were a lot of Hebrew Israelites that wanted to be like the others. They didn't want to keep following God's way. They wanted to do what all the other nations around were doing, which we see that even today. You know, we see a lot of our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters who are Hebrew Israelite by nature. They are the seeds of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but yet they do not want to be called and chosen. They are called because by nature that's what they are, but they don't want to lead their lives the way that God requires them. They just want to be included in whatever else they can be included in. And that's fine because everyone here has a place. Everyone here has a place. So those scrolls were stolen. And when those scrolls were stolen, the way of life that we have as Hebrew Israelites was stolen and mimicked by all of these other religions, down to the way that we dress, down to the way that we pray, down to the holy convocations that we are supposed to keep, our holy Sabbaths. Everything was separated and segregated, and everyone took a chunk and said, we're going to take this, and we're going to take that, and we're going to take this, and we're going to all pretend like Hebrew Israelites don't exist, so that way they won't even believe they exist, and we're going to try to make them think that they're just nuts for thinking that there's a God for them to serve. And so throughout the years, it was already written that the truth would one day come to light and that all the Hebrew Israelites would finally be awakened from a slumber, which is deception. Deception is a slumber, not knowing and just kind of going with the flow, being puppetized. that the Hebrew Israelite would no longer be puppetized, no longer be left to follow in ways that are not required by us. But because the Messiah came in the flesh and was humiliated in the flesh, died for our sins. So we are no longer sinners. We are free of sin, which means, yes, you should, as a Hebrew Israelite, you should try to live your life as a Hebrew Israelite every day as much as you can, following the laws, the statutes, commandments ordained by the Most High God. But if there's something that happens that's out of your control, you don't have to worry that you're going to be penalized for it because you did not create that. But what I always tell my brothers and sisters is you can't go out there and do something deliberately and then keep going back knowing that it's wickedness. Keep going back doing it, keep going back doing it. Because that's no longer a sin. That is your free will. That is you choosing to do. No, this page is not only for Hebrew Israelites. This page is for anyone who wants to come on it. And so there's many people who they don't understand that Hebrew Israelites are good people, and we don't go around really creating problems for ourselves or for other people. We're really just peaceful people. But a lot of people have misconceptions because if you go out and you see some of the people in the encampments, there are people in the encampments that they really say and behave in ways that would make you be like, I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite, or I don't want to be around Hebrew Israelites, because some of the ways and some of the behaviors that they tout they're not of righteousness. Now, I'm not saying that every Hebrew Israelite has to walk around all peaceful and stuff, like where we don't, because we are still in the flesh. Like I said, there are things. Yeah, you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree, because you want to know why. You are here for a reason. You probably didn't catch that part, but everyone is here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter your way of life, because everyone's way of life comes from the Hebrew Israelite way of life. You know what I'm saying? It comes from the Hebrew Israelite way of life. And to be honest, the earth was given to the wicked. So there's a lot of wicked people on earth. And of course, they're not going to agree with Hebrew Israelite. You don't have to, because it's not your way. And then there's some people that are good people, but they don't identify as Hebrew Israelite because they are not. And that's perfectly fine too. Like I said, you probably didn't catch the beginning. I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm here to just bring light to some things that a lot of people don't understand about Hebrew Israelites. I met somebody, I would say, I think over the summer, maybe last summer or whatever, that claim that they're Hebrew Israelite, but they lead a homosexual life. And a lot of people don't understand that there are children of Israel that are homosexual, and they are no longer counted as in the 144,000 that will be saved in the last days. They are not included. They are Hebrew Israelites, and it's the tribe of Levi. The Levites, they chose homosexuality, and that is a forbidden way of life for Hebrew Israelites. God forbids male to male or female to female. God forbids family to family. God forbids, things like that. So people who lead that life, they're not counted. They're not counted. So it's going to surprise a lot of people when they start realizing that there's Hebrew Israelites that are homosexual, even though it's forbidden. You're going to be surprised. But if you read the scriptures, you will see there was a tribe. Had 13 tribes. You only hear about 12. There were 13 tribes, and one of those tribes chose homosexuality. And because they chose homosexuality, they were counted out, and they're no longer Yes, they can call themselves Hebrew Israelites because they are of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they are not allowed into the kingdom of heaven when that time comes, when Armageddon, when the time of Armageddon kicks in full swing. Because we are already facing some rough times, and people, you can't deny that we're at the brink of this of extinction, which I'm happy. But a lot of people, they don't understand, and a lot of people will say, oh, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, you're supposed to dress this way, you're supposed to dress that way. God is more concerned about you living and following the laws and statutes and commandments more than physically walking around dressing in a specific attire. You could dress in a specific attire, but that doesn't mean that you're living it. I know lots of people, and anyone who knows me, they know I have people that are friends, they're Presbyterians. I have people that are friends that are Muslims. I have people that are friends that are Catholics. I have people that are friends that are Baptists. I have people that are friends that are atheists. I have people that are friends that are atheists. I have people that are friends that are Latter-day Saints. Like, I know people from all different walks of life. Jehovah's Witness. I have people from all different walks of life that I've met throughout my life. And I don't count no one out, because anyone who is alive each and every day that you wake up, you don't know who God is going to turn around to be called. So I can't walk around and look at no person on earth and say, you're going to hell, because I don't know that. Only God knows that. You know what I'm saying? The only people that we know that are destined for hell are the people who commit abominations. And abominations, unfortunately, is homosexuality. Unfortunately, is murderous, intentional murder, because you can kill someone as long as it's not with intent. In other words, premeditated murderers, people who go around and kill with the thought like, I'm going to kill. Those people are not going to heaven. People who kill by mistake, for instance, you get into a fight, you shove someone, they fall, they bump their head, and from them bumping their head, they die, and that makes you the killer. There's a chance that you might not be deemed a killer in God's eyes. You might be deemed a killer on earth, but you might not be deemed a killer in God's eyes because you maybe didn't do that. I'm a Christian, and I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that He died on the cross for all mankind. He died on the cross for all who will believe, yes. And that's all that Hebrew Israelites tell people. We're telling people, like, listen, first, when the Messiah came specifically for the Hebrew Israelites, and then the Messiah realized that there were other people who believed. And so, guess what? I grew up as a Baptist, which Baptists are considered Christians. So I do understand what you're saying. And like I said, I'm a true Hebrew Israelite. I don't count anyone out, because through slavery and through time, a lot of our Hebrew genetics are mixed upon every nation on the earth. So you, as a Christian, you might be raised as a Christian, but you might have Hebrew Israelite genetics in you that's causing you to believe that, because what you're believing is the truth, that the Messiah is looking for those who believe that he did come on earth and did suffer for those who believe. So guess what? I can't count you out. I'm not the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a child of the Most High God, and I do count myself as a child of God. But each and every day, I have to pray that I remain that way. You know what I'm saying? Every day, I got to wake up with good intention and to go out in life each and every day, doing my best to stay on the right path, to stay on the straight and narrow path. So, um, and there's lots of people who don't understand that believing in God is more about living each day, believing in God, loving God, and living for God every day, and hoping and praying for people that want to live for God, that they will be able to do so, because we live in a world that is designed to keep you from believing in God. We live in a world that, when I was growing up, everybody knew about God. If you stop a random person on the street nowadays, especially if they're really young, they don't know who God is. They don't know what a God is. They look at you like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And it's because everyone's being programmed to not know about God, but only to worship idolizing people and idolizing, things. They're not being raised to understand that there is a God mightier than everyone on this earth, mightier than all the gods that are worshipped out there. But like I said, I'm not here to debate or contest whether or not someone is or isn't going to be called by the Most High God. I'm just sharing some facts about Hebrew Israelites. That's what I'm here to talk about. Hold on 1 second, because I have something I want to share with y'all. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it's right here. Where am I going? What am I doing? It's literally right in my face. Sometimes I forget things. Hopefully, I still have this with me. Do I or don't I? That's my quiz. Matter of fact, I got to do some classwork. I forgot I got classwork to do. I'm in an academy. Can I ask you a question? Sure, you can ask me anything as long as it's not disrespectful. I don't think I have my paper. I don't think I have the paper that I wanted to share with y'all. I don't think I have it. I'll share it with you another day when I do have it with me, because I really don't think I have it. Yeah, it's in my other book. I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, I had something really great I wanted to share with you all, but I can share it off the top of my head sometimes. I'm so sleepy. I doubt that I'll be able to do that. But anyway, yeah, I thought I had something. I thought I had some paper with me that I could share with y'all, but I'm realizing that I don't have it with me after all. It's okay. But today I will share with you my prayers that I made over the summer. And I made it, and I'm going to share it because it's time for these evil people. It's time for them to go. And they've been doing too much evil against the Hebrew Israelites. They've been doing too much evil, and I'm personally tired of it. And I was praying it for me, but now I want to say it, and maybe other people will begin to pray this prayer as well. Thank you. So what you're saying is what you hear a lot of the camps. Okay, you can send me your number, and we could definitely speak further. But listen, let me tell you something before you go, or you can always come back and watch this video. Let me tell you something. So I want to clarify something. There are encampments. The Hebrew Israelite encampments, a lot of them are not 100% followers of the Most High. A lot of them are supremacists. They are Hebrew supremacists. They are people who go around, and what they're trying to do is create an unnatural divide. We know that Esau and Jacob, they were what? They were twins, right? So if Esau and Jacob were twins, that means they were brothers. We hear about how they fought in the womb. And we hear about how Esau sold his birthright for what? Some food. Okay? So truly, what people fail to realize is that Esau was actually the original child that God favored because of his birthright. But he sold his birthright over to Jacob, which is how come the Hebrew Israelites of today are brown skinned. But Esau was red. And when people hear red, they automatically say that he was white. But I can't say that personally, and I also can't say that Esau is a devil. He killed his brother out of jealousy. He killed his brother because he was angry that he sold his birthright and that now he felt cursed. He felt cursed. And because he killed his brother, he was then cursed indefinitely by God. God told him to go into the mountains. So, through history, people equate Esau to, well, what some people call the European man or the Caucasian man and Caucasian women, but we are all still brothers and sisters regardless. It's a point blank, because Esau and Jacob were twins. They were siblings regardless. So it doesn't matter if they want to say, oh, we want to call him evil, da 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 da. We're still brothers and sisters. Father Abraham, how many sons? How many sons had Father Abraham? I am one of them, and so are you. So let's all praise his name. And thank you for calling me beautiful. I don't see you, but I'm pretty sure you are a wonderfully beautiful child of God as well. So it's not that Esau is not a child of God. It's just that Esau made an abominable decision. He became an abominable on earth by killing. He murdered his brother. Now, I don't know why people go around saying that, but that's what they say. I personally can't say that because Santaniel was actually an angel in heaven that happened to be God's best friend, who, while in heaven, was telling God like about homosexuality. And God was like, well, I can't let you do that in heaven. And so he was cast out of heaven onto earth, and 1/3 of the angels followed him. So earth is a land that is allowed for homosexuality, which is why homosexuality and anything that is considered homosexuality, such as pedophilia, incest, rape, things like that, you know what I'm saying? Those things are allowed on earth, even though it's also forbidden, because the Messiah came down and forbade it. Which is why God said, I regret that I made man in the Old Testament, because God was just like, oh my gosh, I put Adam and Eve here, and now they're going to suffer because these angels that were sent, Santaniel and 1/3 of the angels that were sent here on earth are here on the earth to do what they were not allowed to do in heaven. I'm a black older man looking for my future wife. Let me tell you something. God will bless you with your wife for as long as you pray every day for God to keep you on the right path. Because see, a lot of people want to get married because they want sex. And I'm going to be honest, most people want to get married because sex. I want to get married to a man who knows and loves God, because in these last days, if you don't know and love God, sex ain't going to save me. Sex doesn't bring nothing but STDs, pregnancy, jealousy, envy, lack of trust. I don't need none of that. I need a man who knows and loves God, because guess what? If you know and love God, you can have sex with your wife and it won't be polluted. It won't be polluted with none of that stuff, because you're living for God. You and your wife will live for God. So I tell you the same thing I tell my brothers, because I have brothers, one who has a wife and one who is seeking a wife as well. And I am not married, though I'm closer to married than not. I pray on a constant basis, but I also know that faith without works is dead. I know that I gotta pray, and I also gotta every day work toward what I need. Because guess what? If I don't work toward it, where am I gonna end up? I'm gonna end up nowhere. But if a lot of people don't know about the angels, and so they automatically call Esau, who was a twin brother of Jacob, which, like I said, they were still from the tribe. They were the first ones. Jacob, they all were Oh, I thought you said something new. Okay. They all were from God. They came from the seeds that were planted here from God. They came from Adam and Eve. They were from Adam and Eve. That's their name, Adam and Eve. They came from them. Those were the children, those were the first children of earth. Those were God's first children, Adam and Eve. Those were the first children of earth. But Eve, she got fooled by Satan. He saw her and he was like, oh, wow, this is going to be easy. Where is Adam? He's not there. So it's going to be very easy for me to trick her. If Adam was with her when the serpent said Tanaya, when he was trying to fool her into eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he would have told her, no, don't do it. And she would have listened to him because he was her husband. But because he wasn't there, she listened to the serpent, Sataniel, and he said, oh, don't believe that. If you eat from that tree, nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen to you. Trust me. Well, isn't that the same thing that happens to women when they're away from their man and some man starts talking to them like, girl, you trust your husband? You think he ain't all sleeping around on you? Girl, please. You might as well cheat on him. Why are you being faithful to him? Women are cursed with that. We're cursed with that for life. We're cursed with our menses. That's something we got cursed with. We're cursed with childbearing. Those are all curses on us. Having a baby is a curse, though we are to be fruitful and multiply. It became a curse. We get our menses every month until we reach a certain age, and then we get heat flashes and menopause and whatever they want to call it. Guys think that women aren't cursed, but women are cursed. You'll never know the pain of a menstrual cycle. It's horrible. It's horrible. And we are considered unclean the whole time that we're on our cycle, and a week after, we're considered unclean. Our men are not even really allowed to touch us. They're really not even supposed to lay in the same bed as us, as Hebrew Israelites. Let me clarify, because that's the law of Hebrew Israelites. Other women of other lifestyles, they don't have to live by the law of the Most High God if they don't want to. They can live by the laws of their gods. If their God said you could do this and do that, you can. But Hebrew Israelite women, we're not even allowed to sleep in the same bed with our husband when we're on our cycle, and we're not supposed to engage in intimacy with them until a week after our menses has cleared up. A whole week. So we only get to have 2, maybe 3 weeks of intimacy with our husband. And then we have 2 weeks where we shouldn't be touched by our husband. And our husband is supposed to use that time to spend with God, not another woman. So polygamy is not a Hebrew Israelite way. Everyone keeps talking about King of Solomon, but King of Solomon received all of those wives in punishment. Those were not his blessings. What man who has multiple women really sees that as a blessing? You're enjoying it? Thank you so much. I mean, there's not a lot of people who want to talk about the Most High God, and you want another reason they don't? Because they want to live their own way. They don't want to live God's way. They refuse to accept that there is a correct way to live on earth while we are here. And as hard as it is to accept it, to accept these rules, the correct rules, whew, if you can live the way that God lived you, like I tell everybody, the 10 Commandments, if you follow the 10 Commandments, you can't make a mistake in life. You know that, right? The 10 Commandments are the easiest commandments ever. If you can't follow the 10 Commandments, geesh, they're the easiest rules to live by. The easiest. But it gives me a headache sometimes when I think about the misconceptions. A lot of people don't understand that Hebrew Israelites, we have so many rules to live by. And when you look at the world that we're living in, we're always forced to break those rules. Keeping the Holy Sabbath. We're supposed to keep our Holy Sabbath. We're supposed to remember it to keep it holy. A lot of people, they don't even know about the Holy Sabbath, so they're not remembering. So they're not keeping that day holy. They don't know. They don't even know what a sabbath is. They're like, what's that? What are you talking about? And I'm just like, yeah, you know, honoring our mother and father so our days will be long on earth. The only time you don't listen to your mother and father is if they're of wickedness. But other than that, if you have God-fearing parents that live by the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High, you have to honor them. You have to honor them. If they tell you, I don't want you dating this kind of person, or I don't want you involved in this kind of stuff, you have to honor it. If they're living by the laws of God, you're supposed to listen to your parents, because that wisdom and that discernment is being issued to you from the Most High through them, which is why God says it, because it's things that we don't know from history that they've seen and that they know. We have to follow it, you know? Not killing. Again, intentional murder is killing. Non-intentional murder, God may forgive you for that. You know what I mean? If you punch somebody so hard in self-defense that it knocks them out and they die from it, from a concussion or something like that, if you were just defending yourself, God may not count you a murderer. Here on earth, they might count you a murderer. They might say, you punched that person so hard, you killed them. Well, I was protecting myself. I didn't know God was gonna fill my fist with all that might. I was just trying to protect myself. God may not have you doomed for hell. You might have to suffer here on earth. So that's why we are, even as Hebrew Israelites and as everyday people, we sometimes got to care for the people that are locked up, because some of them are doing biz that they really are not guilty of, but we don't know that. Only God knows, because only God knows the truth. We just know whatever people are saying or what we're being told. There's so many more. Covetousness. Oh my goodness, covetousness. Covetousness is wanting what someone else has, wanting their life, wanting their life, wanting the material possessions that they have. All of that stuff is covetousness. Wanting a man's wife, wanting a woman's husband. You know how people be like, steal her man, steal her man. That's covetousness. You want someone else's man, why can't you go get your own man? Same thing. A lot of men, they brag. You hear it in the songs, you see it in the movies. Yeah, I done stole his B, or I, you know what I mean, I'm, you know what I mean, I got his woman, I got his wife. People really are proud of that? How can you be proud of that? That's nothing to be proud of. It's ungodly behavior. That's not the way of the Most High God. So there's a lot of people out here. They're sinful blessings. They don't even realize that they're not leading a holy life at all. They're running around and they're just lost. Unfortunately for them, they're lost. Those are the dumb, the deaf, and the blind. Those are the people. People think that you're talking about actual people who are stupid or who can't think for themselves. Like, no, those are the dumb, deaf, and the blind, because they move through life with dumb actions, with blinded mindsets, and they just can't hear you when you're speaking the truth to them, and you're like, that's not what you're supposed to do. It doesn't resonate to them. In their mind, they're like, it works for me. Let it work for them then. Just make sure you don't do it. You know what I mean? There's so many more commandments. Lying, blasphemy. Blasphemy is speaking lies about people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I heard this, that, and the third. No. Don't do that. Talking about people's personal business behind their backs or even in their face, that's blasphemy. Saying things about people that's not true just because you can, or just so you can gain the favor of other people. It's so many things. If you look up the 10 Commandments, there's so many things about the 10 Commandments that a lot of people don't realize that they do, and you're not supposed to do. Hold on, let me get this other phone, because it's more. I'm not saying it in order, so I don't want y'all to think I'm saying it in order. 10 Commandments, King James Version. Hold on a second. I'm pulling up some info. 10 Commandments, King James Version. Talking to my Google Assistant. Hold up. My phone is locked. It's like, wait a minute. They're like, what? You schooling them? I'm schooling them. Ten Commandments, King James Version. My phone acting cray cray. It's like, don't do this. Ten Commandments, King James Version. But see, in the last days, the truth's going to come out regardless. It doesn't matter if people want it to come out or not. I'm gonna have to type it in myself because it's not coming up by my voice. It probably can't. It probably can't make out my voice. Hold up, it might not be online. Are we offline or are we online? Ay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think it's online. Wi-Fi settings. Yeah, my phone acting cray cray. Wi-Fi settings. Yeah, it's acting crazy. I might have to turn it off and turn it on. Let me restart it. Sometimes gotta give it a break. Um, I want to talk to y'all about the whole mark of the beast thing too. How people they don't understand what the chip is. I'm gonna talk about that in a few minutes. But I wanna, while I wait for this, I just want to drop some more things that people don't know about Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites, again, like I said, we're not as judgmental as you see a lot of the brethren and sisters that are in the encampments that are online, those videos that are viral, where you see them out there and they're screaming at people and they're cursing people out just to I guess give them the understanding that they know who they are. A lot of people, when they first find out that they're Hebrew Israelites, and a lot of the time they join in the encampments because it is very similar to church. It's very similar to going to a religious um, place of worship, and many people come from out of that, so it makes them feel like, well, no, now I have a place that I could go to. But church does not have to be in a building. Church is whenever one or more people are gathered together and they're speaking about the Most High God. That is church. What I'm doing right now is church. If there's one or more people watching this video right now, we having church. And I'm not a crip, but I'm just saying church. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't connected. Wi-Fi settings.
Opening Wi-Fi.
Thank you. Can we get this to connecty, please? See? Let's unconnect it and let's reconnect it. If you could be so kind. Yeah, we're supposed to be doing our karaoke. Who wants to do karaoke with me? Yes, we got to talk about the mark of the beast. A lot of people, they don't understand. I'm gonna just go over it really quickly. Mark of the beast is an alleged time, and I say alleged because I'm not going to say when it started. I'll let everyone do their own research because you're supposed to study to show thyself approved. Everything I say, I don't want you to be the type of person that's just like whatever she says is right or whatever she says is wrong. I want you to say, I'm going to look that up and find out for myself. Is she just talking, or is she actually dropping knowledge? Is she actually teaching me something, or opening my eyes to something that is factual? You know what I mean? Because I'm really not the type of person to just spread lies and rumors. But I also know we live in a world where anyone can get online and say stuff, right? That's just not me, thankfully. Ten Commandments, King James Version. It still can't understand what I'm saying. It's like I'm speaking another language. Did I say it in Hebrew? Please, can you think of me through the King James Version? So, so the mark of the beast is a time where people. The rumor is that people will have a chip embedded in them. But can we understand that animals get chips embedded in them? Can we understand that people do that already? They already begun that. Do you know that a lot of people believe that at birth that people get chips installed in them? Mark of the beast. We got social security numbers in America. There's no other land that tracks people by a number except America. All Americans born, you get a tracking number. It's called your social security number. That is your mark of the beast. But there are other marks of the beast, like the chips in our devices, our laptops, our telephones, even our debit credit cards have these things called chips. Now you could tap, and guess what? It's getting to the point where you can just scan your hand. You want to know why? Because you already chipped and you just don't know it. 9 out of 10 of us are already chipped already, and we just don't know it. Many people are getting chipped, and in foreign lands like in the UK, they've already created ways that you can literally walk into a venue and you can order up, and on your way going out you're going to pay because there's a chip embedded in you. People are getting chips embedded in them, so their banks and everything is like this little rice size chip. Yeah, for real. For real, it's the little rice-sized chip. If you look it up, there's stories about people in the UK. They go into club venues and everything, and they have chips that are embedded in them, and it has all of their information, their name, their birth, their blood type, any type of like basic demographic, and then their banking information. And so everything is virtual. That cryptocurrency is the mark of the beast. Social media is the mark of the beast. It's all encrypted together. And a lot of people don't know that by by the end of this year, almost every brand that you know will be required to provide their services online specifically. And they're trying to get to a point where people don't even go into stores anymore, that you have to really just get everything from the internet. So I'm not trying to spread out rumors. I'm just telling you these are the things that are helping to keep the so-called what they call mark of the beast thing going, which is one of the leading things that's going to head into the Armageddon, which is the final battle, the final war of good and evil, which is what you see now. Nation upon nation, wars, rumors of war. We already see these things. It's not like we don't. The famines, the droughts, the fires, people changing their genders. All of these things are the things that were already depicted what happened towards these last days in time. And we're seeing it more now than ever. And it's so normalized that people don't even realize. They don't even realize, like, wait, what's going on? They don't realize it because it's being normalized. It's being taught, like, no, it's okay. This is the trend. This is in style. This is what's normal. And so a lot of people don't even realize that what's going on is all part of um, you know, biblical proportions. They don't realize that. But I don't know why my phone will pull up the Ten Commandments now. For a long time, my phone wouldn't let me like go on like the Bible apps and stuff like that. It's been blocking me. Like, and now they're blocking me from social media because they're like, this girl is really telling people the truth. And I'm like, the truth's going to come out regardless, whether you block me or not. The truth's going to come out regardless. I am wisdom Isis. Don't you know that? I was here before. King James Version, Ten Commandments. Isn't that weird? All right, let me do it like this. Google Chrome. Now it won't go to Google Chrome. It's like, okay, it's like, okay, we're not doing this with you. It's okay. You could give me a hard time. I'm gonna get to it regardless. That's what you don't fail to realize. You are a phone device. You are a phone device. Smartphones. King James Version, Ten Commandments. It just will not, it just literally doesn't want to pull up. And so this phone is broken, by the way. That's why I can only use my voice commands. I can't really type anything in on this phone. And whenever I try to get a phone replacement on my insurance, they keep telling me there's no more phones like this. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, okay, well, let's do an upgrade. Oh no, we can't do an upgrade. It's not that I'm not eligible. They just don't want to do it. anything to stop me. They try to stop my currency. They're trying to keep me from having a roof over my head. They're trying to keep me from having food upon my belly. They're trying to keep me from having clean clothes upon my back. They're trying to get rid of any and everyone who is near me that could support me. So I will not be able to spread the truth, because the more people learn the truth, the faster the Most High God is going to clear this earth out of evil people. And that's just the truth. So the more and more I keep spreading the truth, the more and more they want to stop me. But they forget I'm God's child. You can't stop God. You can try to stop me, but you can't stop God. If they stop me, God's just going to put another child out here to do it. And there's many of God's children that are out there, and we are all out here that love God. We are out here spreading God's word regardless, no matter if people like it or not. That is the war of good and evil. That is the war of God versus devil. People think, hello, can you hear me? I'm trying to see if this device is. The device literally doesn't want to take me to what I want. Isn't that funny, y'all? I think it's hilarious. It won't even go to Google Chrome. It's like it don't even want to go to Google Chrome. If it went to Google Chrome, I could just type it in myself. It just doesn't want to do anything. It's like, no, please, no, we don't want our world to be over. And I'm like, it been over. It been over. Y'all had enough fun on God's time. Like, enough is enough. So, yeah, this thing, it just doesn't want to work for me. But I'm not going to give up just because it's not my way to quit. I just think it's really crazy. It's literally like, when you think I don't remember the Ten Commandments, I just wanted to say it. I just wanted to say it. You can't have no other gods before the Most High God. That is the most important one, really. And that could mean anyone. You can't worship anyone or anything before the Most High God. Any other God, and that is following other people's ways and traditions that are not our own. God is a jealous God and does not like that at all. Could you imagine being a husband and having a wife, and your wife coming home and all she want to do is talk about some other man? Wouldn't that make you jealous? You are the God of your wife, and then you serve God. So that's the order: God, husband, wife, then the children. So that would hurt that man. That would make that man extremely jealous if his wife came in the door and all she talking about is some other man. That's how God feels about us when we are here on earth and we're worshiping other gods and we're doing everything that other gods do rather than what God requires of us to do. So a lot of people keep saying, oh, God's punishing us. No, we're punishing ourselves by not following God's way. God isn't punishing us. We're punishing ourselves by not following God's way. If we follow God's way, we won't suffer the way that we suffer. Evil people will try to punish us because they're going to be mad at us for following God's way and not their ways, their God's ways. Then they will try to punish us. But God is just loving on us, protecting us, keeping us here so we can endure to the end. Yeah. Because God could wipe us out. That's what people fail to realize. If God were punishing you, don't you know that God wiped out a whole earth of people and left only a small handful of people? God only left a small handful of people. But if God wanted to get rid of us, God could just do that. God is not the one punishing us. We punish ourselves by not following what God tells us to do, and then we get mad at God and say, you're being mean to me. You must hate me. No, we are being hard-headed. We are being hard-headed by not following God's way, and then when we get stuck being punished by the people who they don't follow God's way, they follow their God's way, but they don't follow the Most High God's way. Our God is the highest God of all gods. There are other gods. even as human beings, we move like gods. We have the knowledge of good and evil. That we understand that we can do good or we can do bad. We do understand that, you know? God has so many rules for Hebrew Israelite men. A man, he can't even lust after a woman. It says in the scriptures, if you're gonna look at a woman with lust, you're better off plucking your eye out, because that's a major sin in God's eyes, to look at a woman in lust. There's nothing wrong with looking at a woman to say, wow, she's beautiful, she's nice. But to look at her in lust, to say to himself, oh, I would like to do this to her, that is bad behavior. That is ungodly behavior. And so there's a lot of rules Hebrew Israelites have to live by, which is why our men shouldn't be watching porn. They shouldn't be masturbating. They shouldn't be encouraging threesomes and menage a trois and group sex and orgies. That stuff is not God's way. All of those things are homosexuality. Porn is homosexuality. Orgies is homosexuality. Group sex is homosexuality. All of that stuff. Masturbation is homosexuality. That's loving on yourself. If we commit to those things, we have to stop. If we want to serve the Most High God, we have to stop those things abruptly, like right now. Do away with it. It's so many things that as Hebrew Israelites we have to stop. If we want God to do what is to be done to clear out evil, we have to commit to doing good every chance we get. Every chance we get. Sorry, y'all. I got to take a soda break. Please forgive me. I usually don't drink soda, but I have to drink the poison because I don't have anything else that I can drink. I've been drinking water and I've been drinking water and I've been drinking water and I've been drinking water. And my body is just absorbing it way too fast. Excuse me. Yeah, so my other device. So what was you saying about the mark? Um, yeah, I was really explaining about the different ways that the mark of the beast is already here and being utilized already. Basically talking about, like in the scriptures, a lot of people fail to realize that there's things that have been added and taken away from the scriptures over the course of time, and also that the scriptures have been misinterpreted. A lot of the words and a lot of the things that are of Hebrew terminology don't exist in English terminology or Greek terminology when it was converted for people to understand. So people think that the mark of the beast is just a chip that's going to be inserted into someone's hand or into their head or to the back of their necks. But the mark of the beast is so much broader of a mark. And it's not literally just like writing on your head and stuff like people think. They're just thinking that it's going to be plain and simply just that. But the mark of the beast is these chips, the chips in our phones, the chips in our cards, our social security numbers. You know what I'm saying? The mark of the beast is literally things that keep track of us and what we do. These social media sites, they're the mark of the beast. It's a lot that's a mark of the beast. And it's so technical, like, you know, people would probably call me some kind of a conspiracy theorist if I said more than what I'm saying. I'm far from a conspiracy theorist, but I've been called that over the years. I just think it's funny because I'm just like, it's proven like over time everything that I've said is true. And I'm not Miss Cleo. I'm not a sorcerer. I'm not a witch. I don't do forecasting and stuff like that. It's just that if you're a prophetess or you're a prophet to someone else's belief, then that's what it is. I'm a child of God. I don't claim anything other than being a child of God. Hebrew Israelite. Um, but the mark of the beast is the precedence to the end days, and we are already experiencing the mark of the beast. We're already seeing that. If you go into foreign countries, and again, I say if you look it up online in the UK and Europe, there are people who go to nightclubs. They go to night venues. They already have a rice. It's like the size of a grain of a rice. They have a chip embedded in them already, and in that chip, it has all of their basic data: their name, where they were born, their birthday, blood type, some type of identifying information. You see, in those countries, in third world countries, they don't do what America does. They don't have social security numbers. That's just a thing here in America. That's a slave thing. They don't have that. They don't have credit checks either. Credit checks is very recent. Back in the 40s and stuff like that, in the 1940s and stuff, you didn't have to get a credit check for nothing. They just started doing that because they realized the Hebrew Israelites were able to create income and to maximize income just like that, like it was nothing. Me right now, I have zero income. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I have zero income. I have zero money saved. I have nothing, nothing. But I got a megally great credit score, and I got student loans. If they were to clear out my credit score, I could have a black card. That's how good my credit is. But because of this tracking system, I can't. Because if I do that as a Hebrew Israelite, that means that I will be able to help so many other Hebrew Israelites prevail. And that is a no-no to the wicked people of earth. They do not want to see that happen at all. Well, we're not going to sit here and bash the wicked people, because I'm here to tell y'all good things about Hebrew Israelites. So other things about Hebrew Israelites is, not only are we good people, not only are we people that follow the Most High, we are not judgmental like everyone thinks. People think that, oh, they think they're so much better, and I'm like, we don't even move like that. I'm like, actually, we understand that everyone is here for a purpose, and we understand that at any given time, God could turn anyone around to become a purely holy person on earth. So we contend to being as good of a representation as we can. And like I said, I'm not perfect, yet I am free of sin. I might say a cuss word if that's the language that someone speaks. If that's the language they speak, I got to speak their language so that way I resonate to them. But I'm not going to walk around cursing everyone out and cursing people out for the fun of it, or making that my language. It's just that if I have to speak to someone like that to fend them off because that's what they understand. But I got to pray to God after that. Like, God, help me not have to behave that way in my future. But God knows we have a war against good and evil. So you sometimes have to do certain things because you have to protect your good. You have to protect your good. You know? But there's so many other things about Hebrew Israelites, down to our diet, how we eat food. We have to eat fresh food. We're not really allowed to eat frozen food. Did you know that? We're not allowed to eat frozen food. We're not allowed to eat food packed with preservatives and things like that. Our food is supposed to be made fresh. And we only have up to 2 days to eat our food before it is considered unclean for our bodies to consume. And on the holy Sabbaths, when we have our holy Sabbath, whether it's our weekly Sabbath or whether it's a holy convocation, which is also a holy Sabbath, our full moons, whenever you see a full moon in the sky, that is a holy Sabbath for Hebrew Israelites. That is a time of, Holy Sabbath is a time of forgiveness. So every week we spend our time cleansing our soul. It's a time we are forgiving. We're forgiving people of the things they've done to us. We're forgiving ourselves for making worldly mistakes. If we know that we have done, we're forgiving ourselves. We're free of sin, but we also still have to acknowledge when we are caught when we get caught up in worldly things, so that way we don't continue to do it. I'll talk more about the diet in a second. Yeah, I will definitely get back to that diet because it's a lot on the diet. Like, it's a lot. You have to go to Leviticus to get like all of the dietal laws. Like, we have a strict dietal law down to seafood, down to meats. Everyone knows Hebrews are not allowed to eat swine. We're not allowed to touch it. We're not even allowed to touch the carcass of it. So when we get a toothbrush, you got to be careful because the bristles of the toothbrush are made from pig skin. We got to be careful. We got to be careful wearing and buying leather, even though at some point in time that was the clothing. People wear leather, but some of that is from pig skin. We have to be careful of a lot of things because we're not really supposed to. But again, that's the reason the Messiah came down, because once our scrolls were stolen and people started reading about how we are supposed to live, they contended to find ways to make us sinners by purposely forcing those things in our lives, which is why the Messiah came down. Like, it's no way, at this rate, there's no way that they can live purely because it's being forced on them. And so now we are free of sin because God already knows, yep, the evildoers have found a way to force the Hebrew Israelites into being wicked all the time. Don't you know that our holy Sabbaths, we not supposed to work, we supposed to rest? What's the main, every job always forces people to work on the weekends because they don't want you to know which day is the holy Sabbath. They don't want you to know which day is the actual holy Sabbath. So most jobs will force you to work on weekends. You can't, if you don't work on weekends, they're ready to fire you. But they don't want to let you know which day of the weekend is the holy Sabbath. Our dietal laws, we're not allowed to eat seafood that eats of the bottom of the sea. That includes catfish, shrimps, and certain other fish and certain other seafood like squid and octopus. We're not supposed to eat that. We only can eat fish that has scales. There's certain fish we can eat. We can't even eat all fish. We're not allowed to eat certain fish. We're not. Beef is actually not an all-time thing that we're supposed to eat as Hebrews. We're supposed to eat beef during our sacrificial times, during Holy Convocation, during Passover, and things like that. When we are making our burnt sacrifices unto the Lord, that's when we putting food on the grill. That's time for burnt sacrifice. Who texted me? Who texted me? Okay, no one's texting me. A burnt sacrifice is when we're doing cookouts, grilling, putting our food and cooking it thoroughly, things of that nature. Most of our diet consists of lentils, which are beans, grains. You know what I mean? That's really how we eat. On our holy Sabbath, usually the woman of the family will make a nice big thing of soup with lentils and beans and things like that, with vegetables in it. Oh my gosh, I could just taste it just thinking about it. Woo! With the herbs in it. We can't have no flavorless food. That's in the Bible. The Bible, God says we can't have flavorless food. What people on earth cooks with flavor? Hebrew Israelites, people with soul, as they want to say. We're not supposed to cook food without flavor. Can you eat chocolate like a Snickers or Three Musketeers? God is not that picky. You know what I mean? We do eat candy, but you know what I'm saying? For as long as it doesn't contain like pork or anything in it that actually is detrimental to your health, too much of anything is bad. But, back in the day, we didn't have candy. We didn't have like candy like what we have now, of course. But that's what the Messiah died for, because the Messiah already knew that we were going to be tricked into things like that. Like now, now everyone likes candy. I like candy. I eat candy bars and things like that. But we usually make things like sweetbread. We make cakes and things like that. Those were our desserts. Those were our treats. We didn't make actual candy. Our candies were, we take like fruits and we would let it ferment. We'd let it turn into things. That was our candy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you'll see a trail mix? That was like our candy back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Some raisins and some mangoes, dry mangoes, and things like that. There's a black man. It is just for me to have two wives. Is it just? Is it just for me to have two wives? No, that polygamy is not allowed, and it's really deep that a lot of men, of course, they fantasize of how beautiful it will be to be able to like have more than one, but polygamy with Hebrew Israelites is not allowed. A lot of people think that because King Solomon, who was allowed, he prayed and asked God to allow it for him, but it actually became his punishment. It was not his blessing. But Hebrew Israelite men, they're not supposed to have multiple wives, concubines, side chicks, boo things, none of that. They're supposed to have one wife, and they're supposed to stay with that one wife until death, and vice versa. The wife isn't supposed to go and have a side dude or a side nigga, as she calls it, or whatever she want to call it, a creep piece. But a lot of men, especially, there's a lot of men in the camp. They will if they watch this video, they gonna comment and curse me out like you're lying, da, 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 da. And I'm just like, no. God's original way is one man to one woman. At no point in time did we hear God tell Adam that he could have more than one wife outside of Eve. He actually prayed to God and answered his prayer and gave him two wives. King Solomon had many wives. King Solomon had wives, concubines. He had side chicks, mistresses. He had women from every kind of ethnicity that was around at that time because that's what he had wanted. But God needed him to do certain things, and therefore God allowed that. And see, everybody else thinks because King Solomon had many wives, they think that they're King Solomon. And it's like, first of all, most guys who want to have multiple wives, they haven't even been appointed a king by the Most High God. They just run around calling themselves kings because they, through history, believe that they're kings. Like, we come from kings and queens, therefore I'm a king. And I'm like, yeah, but God appointed them kings. You're appointing yourself a king, and now you're running around and you want to have multiple wives because you want to simulate something that you read, and they don't even read the story thoroughly. They just read the part where it goes, he had many wives. Ups, good, close the book, about to go give me an extra wife or two or three. And then they don't realize that really is not God's plan. God didn't plan for any one man to have multiple wives. That's not God's intent for mankind. But just the thought of it makes most men go wild because they're like, yeah, but that's wickedness. That is evil. That's not the way of the Most High God. Unfortunately, God does not condone men having multiple wives. God did not even want to allow divorce. Divorce is actually not even something that God really condones, but God had to at a point because the people on earth were doing things so crooked that a man would get a wife and only come to find out that she was just wanting to be the wife for money, or she wanted to be the wife for status. Some of the things that we see nowadays where you get these quote unquote gold diggers marrying men for the wrong reasons. And now it's wrong for a man to stay in a marriage with someone like that because now he's not getting his due diligence. He's not getting a proper wife, right? No man wants a woman who only wants him for money and status. That is an evil bitch. Pardon my French, but that's an evil bitch. No man wants that because your wife has to be a reflection of you. And if you're a good man, why would you want an evil woman to represent you? Right? But nowadays, these women are training men to be like evil bitches. And they're running around being gold diggers, and they're running around looking for women to use and stuff like that too. So now everybody got their guard up, and a lot of people don't even want to get married. They don't even want to be in a relationship. They just want quote unquote friends with benefits. They want to run around and make friends with people and have sex, 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 and just jump around, jump around, jump around. And that is homosexuality. Having multiple partners and you're not married, it's homosexuality. That is not God's way. Marriage, one man to one woman, is God's original and only solidified way. And unfortunately, all of us have experienced something near, you know what I mean? Everyone's experienced it. So none of us are like free from having that experience, because everyone has had that experience, because that's how crooked the world is, and people do fall into those sad situations. But we can all really aim toward having the right way. um I don't know if my phone gonna bring this up or not. It refuses to bring up the 10 Commandments. I think that is so funny. It just won't. It just won't. It's like, wait a second, it doesn't want to do anything for me. It's like, we don't want you telling the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth. But like I said, there's lots of people who, they don't understand the ways of the Hebrew Israelites. There's foods that we're not supposed to eat. During Passover, during Feast of Lights, during our big holy convocations, which are big celebrations that we do for the Most High God, we get to eat like no other. It's so much fun. We get to cook lots of food. We get to eat and eat and eat, seconds, thirds, fourth, fifth, sixth. Like, it's part of the celebration. It's part of the celebratory, and it's so much fun. And then, throughout our weeks and stuff like that, the women, they're supposed to make sure that they get the groceries once a week. You know what I'm saying? And there's ways that we actually supposed to shop and everything, because we don't get to garden like we used to. We don't get to harvest our land like we used to. So when we go to the store, we have to behave like we're harvesting, and that shopping is your harvest. So things are a little different. We have to adjust to the ways that. Oh, the connection went off again. I see. Okay. Wi-Fi connection. Here, just come right here. This thing is driving me crazy. My phone is acting so crazy. It doesn't make no sense, but it's just trying to keep me from, doing things that I'm supposed to do, because, excuse me, a lot of the nations around us, they don't live as Hebrew Israelites, and they don't want you speaking your way of life to other people. But I think that's crazy, because I'm just like, you can project your way of life on other people, but you don't want other people to project their way of life, which is a bias, and it's steering, and it's unfair, and it's ungodly, because it's like, wait a minute. So if I were talking about something that you agreed to, it's okay. But because you disagree, you don't want me to speak on it. And that's not fair. That's not fair. Because I see things online. I see things online that I disagree to, but you know what I do? I just stay away from it as much as I can. I don't try to keep other people from away from it, because I'm just like, if that's what they're into, I can't control their life. I have my own life that I gotta be focusing in on. And it's not my job to save everyone. Whoever can hear it, they hear it. And like, the truth isn't for everyone, you know. And some people, they don't like to hear that fact. They just like knowing that the truth isn't for everyone. And I'm like, it's okay, but the truth is the truth. No one can change the truth. It's here forever. It will always reign supreme. Yeah, this phone is acting really ditzy right now. Like, I might as well throw this phone away. It's a piece of poo right now. And it really won't do anything for me. It is being a hater. My phone, that is, not anything else. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm getting emails from people that I love. Um, let's see if I'm trying to see if I can fix this. You would make an excellent wife. Thank you so much. You know what's really sad is I believe I believe that I am someone's wife, and I believe that as much as I pray for my husband to, to come into my life or for me to come into his life, I think it's so sad that in this dangerous, crazy world that a good person like myself, I have to be estranged. I have to go through this without without a husband in the land, in this strange land. You know what I mean? But I thank God that God is with me, because at least I know I do have someone who cares for me and that will not leave me in these rough times to try to figure it out myself. You know what I'm saying? Without God, I would be just like all the rest of these females out there, you know, um, hating themselves, going out using their bodies just as a way to make it to get by. You know what I'm saying? Going out there trying to steal other people's husbands and thinking that that is some type of trophy lifestyle to have. Going out there and like basically further degrading myself, because a lot of these females, they already feel low, but then they feel more low after they do these atrocious things, and then they never can pick themselves up from it because they live with guilt. I'm just grateful that God didn't put me to be on that path. How do you know you're not talking to your husband right now? But that's the thing, I would never know. You know what I mean? And I would never know. Only God knows, because only God knows who my husband is. I don't know. I've had many men propose to me. I've been proposed to well over 10 times, almost more than 20 times. There's always guys proposing to me. It's always guys telling me, I want to marry you, you're my wife. But guess what? The scary thing is you never know, because don't you know that the evil serpent, he'll do anything to fool God's children, to keep them from living God's way. And I can tell you, the fact that I'm not married, that I don't have my husband in my life right now, lets it know that all of those guys were sent by the Satan, the satanic evil that reigns this world. You know what I mean? It was sent to me to keep me from God. And trust me, they put me through hell. They put me through hell. They put me through hell. They tried to keep me from God every time. Every time. And it always started, not to even disrespect you, but it always started with them loving how much I love God and loving how humble and sweet and kind. And then it turned into, do you ever get mad? I would love to see you mad. Da, 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 da. And I'd be like, what the hell kind of husband wants to see me mad? Why would you want to see me in an ugly behavior rather than keeping me pure and holy as possible? Why would you want to see me in a derogatory way? And unfortunately, I have to protect myself from those things. But you're right. How do I know? I won't lie to you. I don't. I have no clue. Only God knows. I always have men, you know, telling me that they're my husband and things like that. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's very common. It's extremely common for a man to tell me, I like you, or I like the way you look, or I like your style. And I'm just like, I'm a reflection of the Most High God. So if you like me, you got to love God first and foremost, because that's who I live for. I don't live for myself. This is definitely not my work. This is the work of God. I'm a reflection of the Most High God. It's just that I'm in a female version, I guess. But everything I do is for the Most High God. I do nothing for myself. Oh, I can't get this to y'all. I'm about to sneeze. I just got invited. Oh my gosh. Maybe my honor to be there. I need a dress. I need a dress. Wow. Such an honor. Such an honor. Wow. Thank you so much. So what I wanted to say is, the thing with Hebrew Israelite men is they don't go around looking for wives. They do yearn for a wife because, of course, no man on earth who truly wants a wife wants to be alone. And God said it is not good for a man to be alone. It is not. Of course, it's not. Because then, number one, you'll be led to possibly not believe in God. Two, you'll be led to most likely fall into the ways of doing other things that you should not be doing. And number three, believe it or not, you may get to a point where you hate women. And that's why a lot of men, they actually hate women because they've been hurt by women or mistreated by women. And now they have this distaste towards women in so much that they don't want a wife. They just want sex, or they just want to have them all around them, but nothing else. Um, and then, of course, you get some men that get so disgusted with women that they're just like, I would rather date a man than date a woman because you drive me so mad. Um, and like I said, it's not any rudeness to the community that lives that way, but I do have friends that live that way, and I do have respectable conversations with them. I'm not an ignorant person to where I just assume things. You know what I mean? Like, I actually talk to people because I want to understand some things that is not my way of life. I still need to understand certain parts of it, so that way it makes more sense to me, because I don't live the way a homosexual male or a homosexual female lives. I don't live that way. So I don't know a lot of the things that they know about their lives. But I do know for a fact that many homosexual males and many homosexual females, they do not actually prefer the same gender. It's just that they do that so they can attract the opposite gender more, because it makes the opposite gender more comfortable around them. Yeah, many females that I've met that are lesbians, they admit, like, I really don't like females, that really I just do it because it makes guys more comfortable around me, and it allows me to be able to interact with guys more often, and vice versa. I've met men who are like, I really am not into guys, I really love females, but behaving homosexually allows females to feel more comfortable around me, and then I get to be around more females. I just want to talk to you so I can understand you more. Okay, I understand that. This is me, to be honest. This is me. I'm a God loving, God fearing woman. Um, I care about people around me, whether they're good or bad. I just have a weak heart for people in general, because I know that some people have been, forced into lifestyles or habits that may not have been their choice. And I also understand that some people are just good people and they still get the butt end of the stick. So I don't really consider myself a people person, but it's just that because of my way of life, we are taught to care for others. We are taught to naturally care for others, and so that's how I am. I naturally care for other people. Um, I'm not a violent person, but everyone who knows me, they know that if you mess with me, I'm a piece of work. I'm not a violent person, but everyone who knows me, they know. They're like, whoa. Um, what else? What else? I live for God. Like, I can't express that enough. I'm a God fearing, God loving woman. Like, I really don't like to get caught up in nonsense. I don't like people pestering me. I don't like nonsense. You know. But if you ever be around me, I'm just as normal as most normal people are. It's just that If we get to talking about God, you'll see that I'm passionate about God. You'll see that it all makes sense. Some people be like, it doesn't understand. I don't understand how come she's so nice, or how come she's so this or so that. And I'm like, when you come to realize who I am in my inner self more than what you see of my outer self, you'll realize that you've come in contact with an angel of God. And we do like to be entertained by others. We like when people have things to show us and things that they want to express to us, but we don't like the negativity and the evil and the violence. And being a child of God, some people don't understand when they're in the presence of an angel, of God's, God's child. Some people don't really understand when they're in their presence, and they may never understand it, I guess. But I can't believe this won't bring up the Ten Commandments. Where am I from? I'm born and raised in the United States, born and raised in the state of New Jersey, born and raised in the city of Plainfield. And that's where I'm from, as far as where I was physically born. When is the 26th? OMG. I will be there. I really need an outfit. I really, really need an outfit. I do not like going places such as this without having the look. I have to have an outfit. I really need an outfit to go to the event. Yes. Oh, oh my God. I'm just excited. I'm just excited. I have a lot of blessings being bestowed upon me, and I've been going through a lot. I've been enduring a lot. I really don't really talk to people about what I go through, because I talk to God about the things that I need help with. I talk to God about the things that overwhelm me. But I like to also let people know that even though you see me happy, you see me smiling, I go through things too. I go through things too, and I have to stay strong too. I don't want people to think that I'm just being strong naturally. I'm being strong because God has been a delight, and I mean delight to listen to you. Thank you. I just hope that more people will listen, and that more people will take the time to learn more about God, learn about who they are, and please don't listen, like don't cut off people because of someone else. Please study to show thyself approved. There are people who say atrocious things, and that's not the way that God intends. God doesn't intend for us to be mean to one another. Showing love and kindness is what God wants us to do more more than anything else. You know what I mean? And I understand that some people, they do, in many ways, they do deserve to be treated how they treat others. But whenever you can, to show your love and kindness, don't be a fool. Don't be a fool now. Don't be a sucker to nobody's nonsense. But you know people who are genuine, give them that genuine love and kindness back to them, or be the initiator of it. um I'm just a little bothered that my phone won't show up the Ten Commandments. My phone really is giving me the runaround today. Let me see if we can do it now. Let me see. Let me try one more again. If not, then I know that this phone is rigged to just keep me from trying to keep me from greatness. Look, now it won't even come up. Are you serious? Are y'all hating on me like that though? Wow. That's why I don't really care about these devices. This phone literally, hold on one second. Now I'm gonna show y'all why you can't play with God's children. Now I'm gonna put my laptop on. Now I'm gonna put my laptop on, and my laptop, I have to get a new battery for it in order for me to use it at full capacity. But I just wanted to make sure that I came across a few things for you all before I get off of here. I'm gonna give y'all maybe another 30 minutes for anyone who wants to know some more cool things about Hebrew Israelites. And so, like I said, I know people from all denominations and walks of life or religions, and I don't judge them based off of that. I know that they serve other gods, a different God than I do. But let me tell you one thing about every religion out there. They know who the Hebrew Israelites are, and they know the truth about Hebrew Israelites, and they know and fully comprehend that a vast majority of Hebrew Israelites don't know who they are. They don't know who they are, and they have not been fully awakened to the truth. And so, therefore, it's not their fault, and it's not their job to wake up the Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites have to call upon God and keep praying for their brothers and sisters all around the world. And that's something that I do daily. I pray for my brothers and sisters to wake up and understand who they are, and not just understand who they are, but live it and speak it. Because if you woke up tomorrow and it was time for this world to come to a complete end, and the sky turned dark like in Armageddon, and the animals started attacking people like in Armageddon, the dogs, the beasts of the land, the birds of the land, the fowls of the land, the fishes, everything, like everything that's supposed to happen, if it started happening around you and you just were not prepared, don't you know that that's it for you? That's why I tell people all the time, I'm like, you got to understand that if you're not ready when it's time, where are you going to be? You're going to be with the people that are going to hell. They're destined for hell, unfortunately. And so if you're on earth right now and you're alive, the people who have passed around, they're resting right now. They're going to be resurrected first. They're going to get judged first before God. I hope you go live every day. You know what? Honestly, I wish that I could go live every day. The reason that I can't go live every day is because I don't have my own house. I had my own house in it, and I was illegally locked out of my home. And it's going on a year since I've had my own home. I have not had my own home for almost a year now. And like I tell people all the time, I'm going through real stuff, but you wouldn't tell. You could look at my videos on my page, you could look at my pictures, and you would never think that I'm going through anything. But the truth is, I've been deprived terribly. I mean, the wicked ones they're attacking me left and right, like they coming at me. I have a bite on my leg because I got placed in a shelter. And I got attacked and got in a fight with this female, and she bit me, which is attempted murder. I would love to go live every day, but it has to be something that I can do safely, as far as having somewhere to do that. Trust me, I'm about to binge watch every video you've ever made. Oh my gosh, you are a blessing. I mean, I've been on this internet for quite some time. I mean, you're gonna see that I'm the originator of shorts. If you look at my very first videos, some of the very first videos I post, 15, 30 seconds. I'm the originator of shorts. Yep. Shorts, after 7 years, a business entity can copy you. And it's been past 7 years. And so now you see all of the social media sites, they now are popularizing shorts. But if you look on my page, from the beginning of my page, you'll see that I'm the originator of shorts. I am the social media queen. I'm the reason why they're trying to ban TikTok. Yes, he is deep. I'm the reason why Mark Zuckerberg has blocked all of my pages. I'm the reason why Elon Musk has recently blocked me from X.com. They're all trying to stop me because they know I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm an original child of God, and that I'm here to do God's work. And they hate that. And I'm like, I'm not even hating on them. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Elon Musk is mad because none of his spaceships can reach God. Y'all still trying to reach God since back in the day? Since the days of Baal? You still trying and you still can't reach God? But meanwhile, I could call on God and God will come talk to me Godspeed. They don't understand I'm a real child of the Most High God. I'm not afraid of them, and they know that. I used to work for Mark Zuckerberg. I used to be a Facebook editor. And then most recently, Elon Musk asked me to be a creator on X.com, and I didn't sign up to be it fast enough. So he blocked me. And so now he has it to where I can't get into my page. They're doing that. And I'm very deep. Yeah, I'm very deep and I'm very honest too. And the sad part about it is, if I wanted to, I could pray to God right now and end them. I could end them, like personally end them. And I'm just not abusing my power because I know that God is the winner in the end, no matter what. So I'm going to allow them to have their time because I can do that. I don't have to do anything to them. They're going to hurt themselves. So I've been trying to pull up the 10 Commandments, and as you can see, my phone won't do it. First, it was acting like it couldn't connect, and now it's just won't respond at all. Let's see, it's fine. I'm on Google. Let's see if it'll let me bring up 10 Commandments. Now it's telling me I have no internet. Let me connect to this Wi-Fi. Let me connect to this Wi-Fi. Let me see. Connect automatically. That was my request. All I need is one chance. I will never let you down. Oh, that's so sweet. You know, I love to believe mankind, but unfortunately, I've been let down by too many men. And I'm not even saying that I've been with too many men. I'm just saying there's too many men in my life that I'm even talking relatives and stuff. There's too many men that have let me down. I've seen them behave in ways that I just can't even believe. So a man who wants to win my heart or win me as a wife, they have to really be a liver of the Most High God's laws, and they like I gotta see it. I gotta see it. You know what I mean? Um, I come on here and I think there was another gentleman who was just like, I'll give you my number. I want to talk to you. And he seemed like a nice guy from here, but I'm just like, anyone can seem like a nice person online. I never got to meet him or anything though. I'm not really. Look at this. Now they're like, we're gonna give you limited. Yo, y'all are funny. They trying to give me limited connection. Y'all are funny. Y'all big mad. But if I was talking about their gods, if I was on here shaking my behind around, twerking on this camera, if I was on here twerking and shaking everything all around, that thing would be on full speed. It'd be on 5G, it'd be on 10G. They'd be like, woo, we on the 10th generation speed. We ain't even gonna let her lose connectivity. But I'm talking about God and I'm talking the truth. Limited connectivity. Why? I only have one device connected to you. There's no way that I'm taking up all of this connectivity. There's no way in the world. I just find that crazy. Let me copy it because I ain't gonna keep I am not gonna keep. They're like, how don't you know it by memory? I'm like, it's not that I don't know by memory. It's just I'm looking for something in particular. Now they said the site can't be reached. Y'all are whole real life clowns. Like your connection is not private. And you think that me talking about God is a private thing? That ain't private. That ain't hardly private. Stop playing with me right now. Anyway, so the internet is cock blocking me, so to say. They don't want me to talk about the Most High God in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Like I said, I used to be downloading the King James Version app so I could study the Bible on the go, so I could keep it. They think in their minds that if I don't see the word, that I can't remember the word. But I'm like, it's embedded in my soul. You could try to take it from me all you want. You can't. You can't take my soul from me. So that's how foolish that they are. They don't realize that I can still do this regardless. Let me see. See, now it's trying to act like it can help me. How can you help me? What you could do is, let me turn you off. How about I help you? How about I turn you off? You won't like that. Look, it doesn't want to let me turn it off. Look, it doesn't want to let me turn it off. Yeah, power off. Yeah, I'll put you on blast. It's like, oh my gosh, she's showing everyone. Yes. Now I'm going to turn that off. Now, let's see if this thing wants to connect for me again. I'm going to disconnect you. I'm going to forget you. Disconnect you. I'm going to forget you. And I'm also a techie geek. So they don't know. Like, I'm built for the games. Like, let's play all day. I can hack into these social mediums if I wanted to. They think I can't get into my account. I'm like, if I really wanted to, I could hack into it. I'm worse than anonymous. If I wanted to, I could hack into my accounts, and I could reestablish all my accounts if I wanted to. It's just that I don't care about it. They want me to worship stuff, old memories. I'm like, don't you know that when I die, I'm not going to need no memory of Earth? I'm not going to need to see these pictures, and I don't care about my accolades on Earth. That's not going to mean diddly squat in heaven. I'm going to be too busy worshiping the Most High God. I ain't going to be thinking about none of this stuff. Then they gonna put on airplane mode. Why you have on airplane mode? I'm not on an airplane. You think I'm on a chariot right now? I'm not on the chariot. They're trying to hide the truth about the drones. I saw the chariot. I've seen 2 chariots in life. One when I was a kid, I was about 8 years old, and one this past year, and I saw it. It was not these drones that you fly with a remote control that they keep showing in the news clips. I'm like, they are really trying to psych people out. I'm like, it was a big triangular prism. It was huge. It was huge, and it was real. And I saw it with my own eyes, and I was just standing there like, yo, I thought I was about to be taken up. I was so happy, but it didn't happen. It flew over me. It lingered, and I was just like, wow. But some people they really think that stuff is fake. They think everything about God is fake. And I'm just like, don't you know that during the time of Moses, remember the mountain when God brought the Hebrew Israelites out of Egypt, when when the ruler of Egypt, the Pharaoh, which is like a king, he was like the king of Egypt, he was like the president of Egypt, he was like the, whatever names that people have in foreign countries, like basically the ruler, the top person to rule the land. Don't you know that when God brought the Hebrew Israelites out of Egypt and parted the Red Sea, made it possible for them to get across and away from them? And they went over, and he kept calling Moses up into the mountain to give him the 10 Commandments and to talk with him about the things to come and to talk to him about everything. Don't you know that our people were down there partying and celebrating and worshiping other gods, and it made God angry? And then when Moses came back, they were like, well, we thought you wasn't coming back, so we started doing our own thing. We wanted to do what we was doing in Egypt. And they were so ashamed and so scared of God because they realized, oh snap, we thought y'all was gone. The Hebrew Israelites who knew God, who seen God with their own bare eyes, don't you know, they prayed for God to hide his face. That's the only reason why people don't see God now, because we prayed for him to stop showing. We asked God, please stop showing yourself, please. But we know God really exists, and we know if we want to, we could pray God to show his face again. And that's why they're trying to stop the Hebrew Israelites, because we have the power, the true power of prayer. We can call God right now and shake the earth. If I wanted to, I could ask God to shake this earth right now, the whole earth, not just New Jersey where I'm at, the whole earth. We have that much power in our faith in God. And we can call God, whatever we ask of God, God will do for us. That's why they're careful on getting us mad, and they're careful on ticking us off, Because we could just pray. Any one of us. Any one of us. But see, I'm a lot closer to the Most High God. I'm just really bothered that this, like, they're really trying to keep me from really looking this up. This is so funny. Y'all should see what I'm going through. Like, it really will not connect. It's so funny. I'm sorry. 10 more minutes. I'm going to give y'all 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Wow. It's really still trying to give me limited connection. I think that's so crazy. Do 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 do. The thing is, Hebrew Israelites, that we're not violent. It's not we want to retaliate. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Our God that we serve is the one that really, really, really wants to tear these people. I'm like, what y'all fail to realize is the reason why God hasn't just gotten rid of y'all again is because we're the ones that are kind of like giving y'all a break. If we wanted to not give you a break, we have the power to just be like, okay, God, you can come down and do what you're gonna do, because we're tired of it. It's not enough Hebrew Israelites tired of it. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not enough Hebrew Israelites that are tired of it. It's not enough Hebrew Israelites that are upset by what they're going through. Some of them are actually being treated fairly. So they're not really caring. They got jobs, they got a place to live, they got a boo thing, they got a car to drive, they got a couple vacation days. They're like, I don't care, I'm doing good here on earth. Well, I need you guys to come and close this thing down for. I'm enjoying this, not me, not I. I'm Precious Stone. I'm not having a blast here. I'm not enjoying it. I'm watching people troll me in the music and entertainment industry, trying to make a mockery of me. I'm like, oh, this is what we doing? Okay. Remember that on Judgment Day. I'm gonna be standing with the high holy angels of the Most High God, laughing at you. Like, yeah, it was funny on earth. Now you're gonna spend an eternity in hell for what you did. You better repent. You better call on God right now, and you better apologize. It's a lot of people doing evil, and they think they're getting away with it. I'm like, you think and they think that if they kill off all the Hebrew Israelites that they'll be safe. And I'm like, no. If you kill a certain Hebrew Israelite, you're in big trouble, and you're gonna feel the earth rumble and shake so hard. Woo! It's gonna be a scary day on earth. All I can say. You better be careful. So for whatever reason, they have rigged this. This is how much they're watching me. This is how much they're watching me. Hi, haters. This is how much they watching me. That they trying to keep me from everything. And I'm not even trying to scare nobody. I'm just being honest and letting you know the truth. The truth shall set you free. It shall set you free. It shall. They're telling me that Google doesn't work, that the server IP address can't be found. Okay, well, let me go to Firefox. Hold on, because I got Firefox on here too, since y'all want to play around. Let me go to Firefox. Let me see if Firefox IP address can't be found. Because if Firefox IP address can't be found, then I know y'all just blocking me. And then I'm going to send a prayer up tonight for y'all playing around with my internet access. I'm going to send a prayer up tonight for y'all. And it's a holy sabbath. Please, please agitate me on the holy sabbath. God already said it. And it's winter time. Please. They must don't think I know my scriptures. You think I need to see the scriptures online? I don't need to see the scriptures online. God put it in my soul. Ain't nothing y'all could do to stop me as far as that is concerned. But the good things about the Hebrew Israelite is we are very passionate about serving the Most High God. We get disgruntled when we realize that the evildoers are trying to force us away from God. It really bothers us because we are of the seed that always have been trying to do good for God. And there are Hebrew Israelites on earth that they don't want to do God's way. They want to do their own way. And people who understand that, they're fine with those Hebrew Israelites because they're like, good, they're still dumb, deaf, and blind. They're still lost. We like that. But if they come around a Hebrew Israelite who has been, acclimated to the truth, oh gosh, they don't like that at all. They don't like it at all. And then it's more like they think that we are trying to stop them. And I'm like, I'm not trying to stop you. God is going to stop you. That's what y'all need to understand. This is not a me thing. This is a God thing. This is something that God has decided already long before I was even born or brought into this world. Yeah, they really don't want me. They really don't want me to go on here. They're literally, let me show y'all. Let me turn this camera around. They're really telling me that my laptop, the site can't be reached. This site can't be reached. Look, they are so serious. They do not. They do not want me to do anything. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm telling you. And that's what they do. If I go somewhere in public, they try to people so that way I can't get things done. If I go to work a job, they try to send me to basically fake jobs. They try to fire me. They try to find ways to keep me from making money. They try to keep me from anything that could bring me even the slightest thing of happiness. They try to keep me from having food. They try to keep me from having family. They try to keep me from having peace. They try to keep me from everything because they believe that if they can stop me, that they can stop God. And I'm like, you can't stop God. And I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of dying. Yeah, it is crazy. But the sad thing is that it's really the truth. It's really the truth. I'm a techie geek, and what a lot of people don't realize is they're techie people. They watch and they listen to everything you're talking about. They're watching me stream talking to y'all. They're watching me stream talking to y'all, and they do not want me to pull up the Ten Commandments on my phone because they're like, why should you want to pull up the Ten Commandments? And I'm like, honestly, if I wanted to, I could just rattle it off of my brain. I just prefer that I wanted to look at it because I wanted it as a guide so I don't get distracted because I talk a lot and I get distracted just as easily as I talk. You know what I mean? So I was going to pull it up. But technically, if I went, I could sit here and rattle it off just like that. But they're thinking, well, if we keep her from seeing it, she won't remember it. I'm like, I could read the whole Bible to you as y'all have it. And then I could read you the hidden scrolls as God has it. But I don't have enough time to do that. And I don't need to entertain evildoers. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to entertain the evildoers. I'm here to remind people who they are and remind them that, if you really love God, you keep his commandments. That is a scripture that was left by the Messiah. If you love me, keep the commandments. That's why they don't want me to tell you the commandments, because if you could follow the 10 commandments, you cannot sin at all. It's impossible for you to sin if you follow the 10 commandments. It's impossible because following the 10 commandments, it makes you and it makes you holy in every angle of life. It makes you a perfect being. Perfect. So that's why they don't want me to show y'all the 10 commandments or to be able to tell it to you the way. And I'm not going to rattle it off because I want them to think that I can't. I want them to think that they got a hold on me. We're not letting you on the internet. Woo, 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 woo. What's next? You're going to keep me from going on. You're going to keep me from going on live every day too, right? I know you are, but it's okay. And if you could interrupt this live, I know you would do it. And I was about to get off. Now I'm not going to get off. I'm not going to get off. I'm not going to get off. You're going to have to stop my live. I'm not going to get off. They've been doing that online. I've been making videos. They've been letting me say everything I had to say and then saying, "Oh, we couldn't record it." And I'm like, I'm a techie geek. Not only could you record it, but you took my recording and you're keeping it and you're studying it. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. You hear about you hear about wisdom and she cries upon the mountains. That is me. Here before, here now, and I'll be here later. Hi. Hello. I love that. Hello. But let me tell y'all something. This is awesome. I bet you got some great stories. I have amazing stories. I have so many stories and they're real and they are factual and they are filled with so much meat and potatoes. Like I said, some people they think that I'm like, you know, like not a real person. But I'm a real person and I'm a hidden gem. And that's why they call me a precious stone. My Hebrew name, some of them call me a Korbanah, which is precious stone. I'm a hidden gem. I'm a precious stone. I just can't get over them really blocking me. Like I find that so funny. They're like, and look, they won't let Firefox come up at all. I've been tapping Firefox. They just won't. I'm just like, y'all are sorry. Don't they know I will take this and throw this out the window? I'm like, this device that you think that you're holding me, I will take this device and throw it out the window. It is useless. I would treat it like the piece of metal it is. It's crap metal anyway. I just throw it out the window like it's nothing. I wouldn't care. It's gonna go burn in hell with the rest of this wickedness of the earth. I'm not worrying about these material possessions. They think that I care about these material possessions. You know how many times they've stolen my things from storage when I've had to place my belongings in storage? They've taken my belongings. I've had to start from scratch more than 10 times. Like they do so many meticulous things and they're just thinking they're stopping me. They're always placing me in horrible places, and trying to send people to put a tax on me and stuff. It ain't about nothing. It ain't about nothing. It ain't about nothing when you serve the highest God on earth. I'm just like, I ain't worried about that shit. Pardon my language, but come on. Now, hey Google, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna uninstall you. Bye. Since you don't want to let me on here, I don't need you, motherfucker. Part of my lingo. Bye. Get off of here. Get out. Get off my web. Get off my web browser. How about that? Bye. Bye bye. You don't want to let me use you as I need you? You can get off my web browser. How about that? Get off my computer. So yeah, sometimes you gotta let them know because they think that you need them. And there's a lot of people, worldly people as they're called, they really are stuck. Like there's a lot of people they're scared about this so-called TikTok ban that's supposed to be happening this weekend. They're all erasing their stuff like it's the end of the world. And I'm just like, it is the end of the world, but what are you erasing your stuff for? Like, what do you care about that content? Why do you care about it? These people are stealing all your information. I keep telling people get off LinkedIn. LinkedIn, they have they have sold my information to the dark web. LinkedIn, LinkedIn, the website that hosts for major professionals, people with like high accolades and credentials. They have sold my information to the dark web. Yeah, crooks. Terrible. These websites the people are trusting in. I'm just like y'all are trusting in these people, and meanwhile they are starting their websites and their domains with the intent to defraud you and to take you and make you a nobody if they could take all your information and everything. It's crazy, but the truth is, when you got God in your life, what they're doing means nothing. This stuff the callous things that they do is nothing. Look, they won't even, Google doesn't even want to erase off of my laptop. I press uninstall, it doesn't even want to uninstall. That's ridiculous. And then they talk about, do you want to reinstall Chrome? No, I don't. Stay off of here. I'm going back to Microsoft.